Blog Talk Radio.
Could the biggest science project ever lead to the end of the world?
The massive gas line ruptures, could it happen in your neighborhood?
How many sex offenders live in your neighborhood?
Are there terrorist cells in your neighborhood?
Marijuana, could it be in your neighborhood?
Are your kids being brainwashed? I'll tell you who's taking cues from the Nazis.
A town in California is insisting that every second grader learns about gay penguins.
Social engineering of America's children.
We'll have global governance run by elites.
We'll have our own little China workforce right here in America.
Doomsday 2000. Killer bees. Bird flu.
The terror threat.
The superbug.
Global pandemic.
Illegal aliens.
Gun restrictions.
Right-wing terrorism.
Evangelical Christianity.
Gay marriage.
Death panel.
The flip-flop.
Indoctrination.
Militias.
Anarchy, chaos, and cannibalism. Gosh, we better wake up soon.
Or we're gonna wake up dead.
Hi, this is Tatiana Moroz, and you're listening to Journalistic Revolution.
All right, welcome back to another Journalistic Revolution. I'm your host, Robert Wasman.
How y'all doing out there? It's Matthew Dalton.
Wait. Was that a y'all? Anyway, so today on
The living, buddy.
Journalistic Revolution, we will start, of course, as we always do, with Peace News Now. Then we're going to take a moment to talk about the IRS and the trials that were taking place, or testimony, I guess, is actually what it would be called. And then, we're going to talk about a video that we posted today that not only, in my opinion, exonerates Adam Kokesh from any form of resisting arrest or assault, but we're also going to look at the controversy around the infamous belt pull. So, and then, of course, as we go on, the main part of the show, we're going to spend an entire hour discussing political prisoners that have been that have been getting arrested a lot lately, starting all the way back with Brandon Raub to Mark Schmitter, Adam Kokesh, and Poe. And we're going to discuss what that really means. So, anyway, and what do you have to add to that, Matt?
Sorry, dude. I'm just dealing with a little technical difficulties. We're not on LMR. I'm guessing it has something to do with still being with Blog Talk Radio. We need to get in touch with Eric to play us through. It's still playing Caleb Leverett's show.
All right.
So
go ahead and just post the links to the Blog Talk Radio link on Facebook, and then
will do, brother.
Explain the technical difficulty, if you will, sir. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and while we're handling that, we're going to go right into Derek J. from Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Peace News Now.
This is your Peace News for the week of Sunday, May 19th, 2013. Silver is trading at $22 per ounce. Gold is trading at under $1,400 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $123 per Bitcoin. Copblock is a decentralized project supported by a diverse group of individuals united by their shared goal of police accountability. They highlight the double standard that some grant to those with badges by pointing to and supporting those harmed. By documenting police actions, whether they are illegal, immoral, or just a waste of time and resources, then putting direct pressure on the individuals responsible, ideally while recording and then later sharing, we can work together to bring about transparency and have a real impact. Copblock.org is a resource for the education of individual rights through the dissemination of different viewpoints and tactics that seek to curtail the all-too-common rights violations and unaccountability that today exists. According to their website, they do not hate cops. They believe that no one, not even those with badges, has extra rights. They aim to focus the disinfecting light of transparency upon public officials. Support CopBlock with a donation at copblock.org. That's copblock.org. Did I mention CopBlock accepts Bitcoin? Another earth-shatteringly amazing pro-liberty organization is Defense Distributed. Defense Distributed is a pending 501c3 status nonprofit corporation in the state of Texas, organized and operated exclusively for charitable and literary purposes. According to their website, Defense Distributed seeks to defend the civil liberty of popular access to arms as guaranteed by the United States Constitution and affirmed by the United States Supreme Court through facilitating global access to and the collaborative production of information and knowledge related to the 3D printing of arms, and to publish and distribute at no cost to the public such information and knowledge in promotion of the public interest. In their brief existence, they've already created 3D printable designs for items which are prohibited by law, such as extended capacity magazines. Most impressive, however, is the Liberator, the world's first fully functional 3D printable plastic handgun. As technology improves and 3D printers become cheaper and more affordable to the average consumer, it's not hard to imagine being able to print your own fully functional self-defense weapons in the privacy of your own home. Make a donation to Defense Distributed through a link in their website at defensedistributed.com. defensedistributed.com. Are you tired of the U.S. government killing people around the world? Are you tired of having to pay for their murderous rampage? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. Bitcoin takes the power of money from government and returns it properly to the people. By continuing to use the dollar, you are helping the government. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at WeUseCoins.com. That's WeUseCoins.com. Want to donate your Bitcoin to a charitable cause? What could be more wholesome than helping heal the sick and wounded? Free Aid, spelled FR33 Aid, is a private charity that is solely funded by Bitcoin. Free Aid volunteers provide first aid on a voluntary basis and do not charge for their services. They are an all-volunteer charity that's funded entirely by the generosity of their donors and not affiliated with any government. Free Aid is an educational organization that does outreach to the public about CPR, AED use, and other aspects of health, safety, and well-being. Free Aid is also a great networking organization for liberty-loving people who work in medicine, nursing, mental health, or other healthcare-related fields. To make a donation to Free Aid, visit their website at fr33aid.com, fr33aid.com. To learn more about how you can donate to Bitcoin-friendly charities, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. Peace News Now will be taking a short break this week while our staff is away. I'll provide daily updates from Wisconsin as I cover the landmark trial of Vernon Hirschberger, the dairy farmer facing 30 months in jail for selling raw milk without a license. Learn more about his trial at farmfoodfreedom.org. In the meantime, the quickest way to watch the latest episode of Peace News is by going to watch.peacenewsnow.com. That's watch.peacenewsnow.com. As always, links are in the show notes. This has been Peace News, your daily update on the peaceful evolution. Get more Peace News on the next news network. And for daily videos, subscribe at youtube.com/peacenewsnow. For peacenewsnow.com, I'm Derek J., reminding you that peace is the way.
All right. I like that. The private donations. You there, Matt? Okay, I'm talking to myself. All right.
No, you're not talking to yourself. I forgot to turn my mic off. Mute. My apologies.
Well,
what difficulties, man? I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, so did you listen to the Peace News Now?
Yeah, I was listening to it. I like what he was talking about. It's good to see that CopBlock is, they're not just sticking with what they do. They kind of expand towards other liberty ideas like Bitcoin.
Well, that's cool. So let's get into it. The big news today that all the mainstream media is abuzz with is the IRS trials, right? And apparently, what is she? She's a lowest learner director, right?
Yeah. Well, lowest learner is probably very close to correct.
Lois Lerner is what I'm looking at here. She's the IRS director of exempt organizations, which, according to the IRS, you cannot plead the Fifth with IRS. And today she invoked her constitutional right of the Fifth.
The Fifth, yes. Which I think is, it's pretty shameful.
It's ironic.
Well, you're right. It is ironic. But at what point does this come back to bite them in the rear? Do more people start invoking that right? It's not like the IRS can open your mouth and force you to talk. I would be pleading the Fifth. In fact, maybe even start a new organization, plead the Fifth IRS, or something like that. Just make it to make their job more difficult. They want to sit there and single people out. I don't agree with everything about the Tea Party, but it's the same thing with like what's going on with Adam Kokesh. Who cares if you agree with his policies or philosophies? Support the Constitution, support people's rights. And they're singling people out based on political reasons. Well, you know what? Then they need to be held accountable for their actions.
Well, they need to be abolished and get rid of completely. But but according to her, and this is her quote, okay, this is her brief statement today. I have not done anything wrong. I have not broken any laws. I have not violated any IRS rules and regulations. I have not provided false information to this or any other congressional committee. She also said, adding that she refused to answer any questions or testify about the subject matter of this committee's meeting.
Now, according to some people, they're saying that just by that statement alone, she gave up her right to invoke the Fifth Amendment, from what I understand.
Well, I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't know. Is starting to talk an assumption of giving up that right? I don't think so. Is it?
From what I'm understanding, let me see if I can find. They're claiming that just by her making that announcement, she gave up that right. So whether that's the precipice of it, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer either. I'm want to be one someday, hopefully. But right now I don't know much about it. All I know is that the news reports I've been seeing are claiming that she gave up that Fifth Amendment right when she made that statement. So,
well, of course, the Republicans are jumping all over this, and with good reason. I'm not saying that we should ignore this. This is a gross violation of privacy and First Amendment, really, because these people are getting scrutinized because they want to peacefully assemble and become an organization. So the Republicans contend the controversy is part of a pattern of a White House gone wild, and repeatedly brought up other issues dogging President Barack Obama, such as the erroneous administration talking points in the days of the terrorist attack of Benghazi, Libya last September. And of course, the left, the Democrats, insisted that what happened, while unacceptable, was initiated within the IRS instead of being a practice called for or supported by the president or others in his administration. So they're saying they did bad, but it wasn't the president, so I don't know. I don't understand really either of those arguments. I get it. President Obama is really screwing up, but did you expect him to do better? And also, where were they when Obama was making, Bush was making these types of accidents? You would see the tables turned right now if a Republican was in office, and that's just a part of the dog and pony show in my eyes.
Yeah, the problem is I expect the dog and pony show from the left and the right. I expect that. But I really expect more out of other people, out of fellow citizens that are not into politics and not being paid by the lobbyists and the corporations. I expect them to see the hypocrisies. I expect them to see their guy screwing up just as bad as Bush. I expect it, but we don't get it, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I guess I'm seeing here this article that you're talking about. This Lois Lerner lost her rights.
Yeah.
Shalonus Lerner might win the legal battle, but she's prolonging the political war. When I asked her questions from the very beginning, and I guess this is who is this? This is Committee Chairman Daryl Issa. Mm-hmm. When I asked her questions from the very beginning, I did so she could assert her rights prior to any statement Issa told her political. She chose not to do so, so she waived. So this is coming, but in all fairness, this is coming from a Republican who would be kind of biased.
Yeah.
In that situation, is he a constitutional lawyer?
You know, that's a very good question. You know, I don't. Yeah, you know, it's funny is because you expect our government officials to know the Constitution and the law, whether they're a lawyer or not. So I'm hoping he at least knows what he's talking about. Let me Google search him real quick. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were in mid sentence. I'm sorry. I thought you were in the middle of an idea.
No.
They're saying at the very least, Lerner's speech prolonged the process. She's almost certain to be back on Issa's turf when Congress returns in June from the Memorial Day recess. If she refuses to talk, then the committee could ultimately pursue a contempt charge. So I guess this is something that they are going to go after. Like they're actually going to call her back. I guess he's running this whole thing, right?
From what I see, yeah. From what I've read, the little bit of research that I've done, you know, it's written very little research on some of this because of what's going on with Adam. But from what I understand, this guy's pretty much heading this whole thing up.
Yeah. So,
no, he is not a constitutional attorney. He's done other things business-wise, but from what I'm reading here, he is not an attorney or a lawyer.
So what's his credentials on that? He's just a congressman? I mean, that's...
Yeah, I'm assuming that's about as deep. He's a U.S. House of Representative. He's been in since 2000 in California. He's pretty much been career in California, District 49.
Okay. All right. So at the very least, he's a career. How long has he been in?
Since 2000.
Since 2000, so 13 years. I mean, I guess you would pick up some knowledge of the legal system, you know, being in Congress for that long. So maybe there is something to that. Maybe she did give up her Fifth Amendment rights, which would be awesome, because I don't think that if you're going to run an organization that doesn't allow you to plead the Fifth, you yourself shouldn't be able to.
Well, I'm wondering how this works, because the way I understand it is the hearing's over. She gave her statement. She pled the Fifth. Now this guy's saying that she gave up her right. Can they drag her back in there? If it's another day, does she get to plead the Fifth the next time, or does this mean that they have to bring her in and she understands that she doesn't, and she has to answer the questions? Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to know. And plus, I don't know that they've actually come out and said, oh, yeah, no, he's right, you got to get back in there. I think he's just kind of griping that she took the Fifth.
Yeah.
Which, you know, this whole thing upsets me to high heaven, because the IRS is just abusing the hell out of the rules that they claim we're not privy to when it comes to them, and it drives me crazy. I'm sorry. It angers me to no end. Of course, I think a few people are right. We've said it for longer than this came out. We need to abolish the IRS.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the Fed and the IRS. You know what I mean? All of that. I mean, really. And then, you know, and then this is what gets me. Okay, is this is important. It is. You know, they were attacking and singling out certain movements in the United States. But where is the coverage for all the other times government agencies have singled out movements within the United States? I mean, even currently. I mean, the Tea Party itself was co-opted, so I don't even know why they had to feel like they had to discredit them anyway. You know, the establishment Republicans took care of that for them. You know, and then the occupiers, you know, they got discredited by both sides. They got co-opted by the Democrats, and it became a liberal movement, and it got, you know, discredited by the Republicans, and this is their forte, if you will. You know, and that's what they do. They're all like, hey, we'll be for it, you be against it. We'll make them look ridiculous, and you know, and we'll go. You know, and that's what they do. So, but anyway.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, from the Capitalism Institute, they're saying that the IRS chief met with Obama more than 100 times during the quote-unquote Tea Party attacks. I love the language of headlines. They're so ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, so the Obama administration handling the IRS scandal is essentially one huge bet that Americans will believe whatever they're told, even if it's obviously not true to anyone who looks at the fact. For example, the current story is that Obama staff knew about the IRS scandal for weeks, but he didn't. Well, yeah. I mean, doesn't he know? I mean, he's getting his information from the same source we are, you know. So it doesn't really. I don't see why are they surprised? That's been his answer every single time.
No, but nobody holds him accountable. Well, recently Jon Stewart did, but nobody holds him accountable on this. I mean,
Chris Matthews did.
Yeah, Chris Matthews did. But you know how many people would be calling George Bush a moron and an idiot for not knowing this stuff before? I mean, I'm not defending George Bush. He was president.
Yeah.
But it's the hypocrisy behind the argument. Yeah, they're calling him out for it, but they would be downright insulting George Bush's intelligence based on the fact that he didn't have this information. Oh, I just saw it on the news this morning. You know, I mean, but he probably would have said it in some dumb way, and that's probably how it would have been taken. But no, I mean, it's an excuse. It's a tired excuse. It's like next he's going to say, well, my dog ate the report, and, you know, I didn't have the information. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I punished my dog. I promise this will never happen again. And,
no fucking way! Shit, they're lying to
us! Fuck! You know, I mean, really, I mean, isn't that excuse? I mean, at what point do we hold him accountable for this lame excuse? And yeah, we've got a couple people in the media, but I mean, are the people starting to see it? Are they really starting to get to that point where they're so fed up that they're ready to stand up and say this has got to stop? And my only fear is, like we talked about a week or so ago, how many people are just going, well, looks like we just need to put a Republican back in the office.
That'll fix the problem.
Yeah, that'll fix the problems.
There's your sign.
I don't know, man. It's just frustrating to talk about it, you know, but it needs to be covered. People need to understand that this shit is getting worse, and they're just abusing more and more of the power, and it's now coming to light. And I think it's time people need to just wake up. It's funny, though, because last night I was talking with Jake Counts, and he says he doesn't want to call them sheep anymore. So I came up with a new term. We're going to call them sleepwalkers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, they kind of walk around just like living their life. Oh, I wonder who won American Idol. They're sleepwalkers. So, you know, maybe it's...
Yeah. You know me, I'm not big on derogatory terms. I don't even like generalities, you know, or generalizations, sorry. And, you know, but that one I like because it's not really... They're just sleepwalking. I mean, it's not like you're going, you fucking sleepwalker. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's an action. You're telling the person, like, hey, bro, you're sleepwalking, you're daydreaming, you're walking around in a haze. You know, you're not calling them stupid. They're not ignorant because of it. They're not sheeple. You know, they're in the action of sleepwalking. I dig that.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I think Jake liked it as well. So. All right, so what's next on our agenda there, boss?
Well, I think you wanted to talk about the 18-year-old looking at 20 years for anti-government lyrics on Facebook.
Yeah, how ridiculous is that? I mean,
they kidnapped Brandon Robb. I mean,
no, but I mean anti-government lyrics. I put anti-government, my own words on Facebook. I'm not facing 20 years. You know, I post anti-government music. by groups like Pennywise. I'm not facing 20 years. What makes this kid so special that they're going to put him in jail for 20 years? I mean, what was it? I'm not in reality, so when you see me, expletive, go insane and make the news, the paper, and the blank federal house of horror known as the White House. Don't cry or be worried. I better not say anymore. I might go to jail. Can you go to jail for covering the news of the kid who created the lyrics?
I would put good money on yes.
Well, seeing as the government is also targeting news organizations, yes, I wouldn't be surprised. So what's your take on this?
Well, no. I want you to read some more of his lyrics real quick because or reread the ones.
You want me to go to jail?
No, reread. Yes, no, reread the ones that you just did.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the curse word is, so I'm just going to say expletive.
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, I'm going to say expletive deleted, just like they did in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'm not in reality, so when you see me, expletive deleted, go insane and make the news, the paper, and the expletive deleted federal house of horror known as the White House. Don't expletive deleted cry or be worried because all you people, expletive deleted, caused this, expletive deleted. I don't see what's so bad there.
What? Is there was something worse than that? Because so far I'm not hearing anything worse than you would hear in an Eminem album.
I lost you?
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Oh, son of a biscuit eater. All right.
Anyway, what's your take on it being no worse than an Eminem song?
Well, it isn't. I mean, what did Eminem put that song out? George Bush is not my homeboy. You know, they didn't come gathering him up in the middle of the night because he sold a couple million albums. You know, I mean, honestly, this kid is 18 years old. He obviously has either, you know, whether he, I mean, was this somebody else's lyrics or were they his own lyrics?
I think they were his own. I believe he was an aspiring rapper.
Okay, so this kid obviously has aspirations and dreams to do something musically, whether you want to call rap music or not. He also has a problem politically with certain, you know, politics that are going on, and he expresses it in his music. I don't see what he called the federal house of horror known as the White House. How is that? It's not threatening.
Well, hold on. Listen to this. I'm triple platinum and tragedies happen in 2 states. I invented violence, you vile, venomous, volatile bitches. Van Vicodin, vrin, vrin, vrin. Texas chainsaw left his brains all dangling from his neck while his head barely hangs on. Blood, guts, guns, cuts, knives, lives, wives, nuns, sluts. I mean, that's...
So he's no more violent than the federal government themselves. What, are they afraid of competition?
No, that's Eminem. No. That was Eminem.
That was Eminem. I thought it was the kid. Okay, exactly. I mean, I think they're trying to make it. I don't even understand how they got a hold of this. I mean, is he like friends with Joe Biden or something? Like, hey Joe, check out these kick-ass lyrics I posted. You know, I don't get it. How are they pinpointing this 18-year-old kid who probably is just nothing more than pissed off a little that he's watching his parents go through some stuff because of, you know, their small businesses being torn apart because of government, you know, regulations and stuff like that. You know, maybe he's just pissed off. You know, I don't see anything in these lyrics that seem threatening. I don't see anything in these lyrics that seem worthy of even a visit by the local mall security guard. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't seem... It seems way blown out. I feel bad for this kid, and I'm hoping that people in his town and surrounding towns go stand up for him. I actually kind of want to keep I think that maybe some of our... I know we're focusing on Adam right now and N.A. Poe and what's going on there, and we got so many things coming up this summer, but I'd like to see some of the Liberty Movement try to get behind this kid in that area and maybe go, you know, do some protesting, sit in the courtroom, record, keep us informed on what's going on with this poor kid, because this is just ridiculous. This is a gross misuse of power once again.
Yeah. Well, right now we're going to go ahead and take a break and promote some liberty-minded people that we love to promote.
Woohoo!
Because when it all comes down to it, aren't we all on the same side?
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Welcome back to Journalistic Revolution. News you need to be involved in. Anyway. We actually have Trip calling in, coming in to talk, and I don't know what he wants to talk about. I listened to his show today. I loved it. Let's go ahead and get him going there.
I listened to it too. It was a great show. Unfortunately, his power went out.
Yeah, but hey, we all have our technical difficulties. Trip, you there?
Yeah, man.
What is up, sir?
Hey, good thing it was just like 15 minutes left in the show, but I've been really happy with the turnout of callers lately. It's been great.
Yeah, you did, and I loved. There was a point that you brought up in your show that I really liked, and it's that and what's sad is I'm kind of committing my own sin here, that a lot of people are focusing on the Adam Kokesh thing when there's still a lot of other things we should be keeping an eye on.
Right, but you know how everybody from trolls to haters to even me, I have my own like this. I don't know if it was being brought up Catholic or what, but I have this internal guilt where it's like, yes, we should be involved and really screaming from the rooftops about Adam, but it's like I don't want to get the AP records and the Fox News records and the IRS stuff and Benghazi. I don't want all this stuff lost in the midst of trying to help Adam out. But the other thing is that I feel like a lot of people, we are news, we are new media. This is what this is, and we fall victim to it without any backing. We do it on hype alone, without saying this is the narrative that's controlled here. We don't have a controlled narrative, but at the same time, it's done great for my ratings. Like it's horrible to think like that. I'm really shitting on myself for doing that, and I don't know if it's that I'm high as a chemtrail or not, but that just happens to be the state of affairs. Yeah, use that. Pass it around.
Yeah, I'll pass it around to get high as a chemtrail. But well, yeah, it's almost like it proves like the Carl Jung's theory of a universal subconscious. We are a decentralized group of people. There is no one speaker, because you hear that with the trolls a lot. Oh, your leader got arrested. I was like, I didn't get arrested. I'm my own leader. But
right.
So you
what
hear
do
that
we do now?
Yeah, exactly. I'm all like, I'm gonna keep doing what I do.
All right. What really sticks out. Like sorry for interrupting, but that point in Forrest Gump where he's got like the absurd Duck Dynasty beard or whatever's going on there, and he turns around and just goes, "I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now." and that one guy goes, "Well, what are we supposed to do now?" That's if I could personify it, it would be that 30-second scene in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that was perfect. Well, this next segment, I want to get your take on it too. We are going to discuss the affidavit that Adam got. We're only going to do 30 minutes to Adam, and then we're going to discuss all the other political prisoners that we could think of in the last 10 years.
Excellent.
But according to the affidavit, the National Park Service Rangers approached the members of the crowd who were seen in possession of what appeared to be marijuana cigarettes. Kokesh was next to and had locked arms with a person who had a marijuana cigarette. As the ranger approached the person with the cigarette, Kokesh physically blocked and obstructed the ranger. As the ranger pushed forward, Kokesh grabbed the ranger by the arm to hold him back, and Kokesh was taken into custody. Now, I don't know if did you watch that video we posted earlier today?
Yes, I did. Great production, by the way.
Thank you. We clearly show at the time with the more clear video, with the better angle that was up there by the stage, that when the cops came up, Adam didn't lock arms with anybody or at any point put his hands on anyone else.
Or attempt to. It was just literally. And now if those of us that have followed Adam and watched Adam knows that Adam's going to put his hands up and he's going to go peacefully, but he's not going to let anybody take him to the ground if he can help it.
They've already done that.
He knows what that leads to. Well, if you watch, and I hadn't really put my finger on it until I watched this last time. I should have noticed it more at the Jefferson Memorial, the dancing protest. But he doesn't let anybody take him to the ground too willingly, and I guess that's resisting at this point.
Well, yeah, at this point, I mean, you can, if you even just put your hands on an officer, that can be considered assault. But
right.
No, but if they put their hands on you, it's totally okay.
Well, it's detainment.
It's not assault. No, it's not assault. Here's the thing: is I looked at what Adam does. He's putting his hands up. There's no reason to throw him on the ground. They don't throw every suspect on the ground. I've watched cops. Only the ones that fight and run. Now, Adam wasn't doing anything but putting his hands up. So as far as I see it, the police were automatically looking for resistance, trying to throw him on the ground, and he wasn't going to put up with it.
Yeah, well, there was another article that I read that said it was because Adam elbowed an officer during the struggle. And I was actually able to find video of this alleged elbowing in the face. And, I mean, you can clearly see the cop who tried to take Adam to the ground and failed hysterically, he hit the other ranger in the face with his elbow.
Spit smacked him.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I was like, what? Did you want me to just sit around and get hit in the face? I don't understand. That's another thing that could be used in, a dozen other interactions with monopoly on violence known as police and military, is that it's like, that just seems like a natural human reaction. It's like, well, you were going to hit me in the face, so I ducked. I'm sorry if you hit your rookie over there, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, I mean, they can't put it on him. I mean, we really went through and tried to find all the angles. Look at if there was anything that could be perceived as assault or resisting, and we couldn't find either, and then as far as the infamous man in a green shirt, right? When we looked at that, regardless of what he was doing, okay, because there are people who are saying no, he's a good guy, and I don't know the guy personally, so I'm not going to try and make that judgment call. That he's a good guy and that he was, with Adam, and he even released a video stating what he was doing and made some apologies and such. It's actually, you should watch it. It's a very long video, and he gives credit to everybody. And then there's others who are saying that he was trying to plant something on Adam. Now, regardless of if it was him trying to grab the belt or him to plant something, he failed to do so. So there would be no evidence or charge if it was a plant, and of course there would be nothing if he was just trying to grab his belt. But either way, he never succeeded in grabbing his belt or planting anything on him.
Well, and just to expand on that, the thing that you guys raised, and I did watch the video before I went live, and like I said, it was very well put. But the other question that I've raised also is that initially, before all this came out, I was saying, well, how come we're talking resisting arrest and all of this other stuff and assaulting officers, and we're not talking about controlled substance charges? Well, A, it failed, and B, is that amount of marijuana in there would be a misdemeanor charge that, that would be that at the end of the day. It would just be just a misdemeanor charge. It's kind of hard to hem somebody up on something like that for too long. You get tickets. You go to, you're allowed to, you're free to leave at some point over something.
Yeah, they ROR
like that,
you.
You know what I mean?
They give you the release on own recognizance.
Okay, but
right.
Who's to say that this was only going to be? Oh, he had drugs and he was resisting arrest and he assaulted an officer. Who's to say that those charges weren't going to come along with the drug charges? Had it been a failed, had it been a successful?
The point. Now, I agree with you there, and that's that's something that could have been in the works, but it's like I've seen dozens of, whether it be false flags or other events like this, as small as this, be like, well, yeah, that might be something that's par for the course, but like I said, that's a misdemeanor charge. It's not a felony that you can get hemmed up on, and you could, like, for if it was just smoking pot, if it was just possession of marijuana, there's no way that Adam would not be out in time for the march, and you know, I mean, I'm asking questions. You know,
yeah, no, I see your point. It's almost moot for them to try to plant something on him if they're going to go with an assault and resist charge.
Well, let me ask you a question. What would the drug charge had affected his ability to carry a rifle? A misdemeanor.
No, I don't think misdemeanor do. But
I don't think so either, unless the only. Well, actually, Lucky, you should know this, guy. Come on now, work with me here.
I've never been arrested.
It's not about being arrested, but I'm not going to say what sort of artillery that you have. But what I'm telling you is that any time that you go, and I'm just speaking on my personal behalf, any time that you go to fill out something for a new gun or anything else like that, they ask you, have you been, whatever, with the felony deal. But I'm telling you right here that it also says that if you get hemmed up on misdemeanor domestic battery, misdemeanor battery or domestic battery or anything of that nature, then that also disqualifies you. So there are some misdemeanors out there that would, but however, this not being one of them. But I just wanted to throw that out there. But there are misdemeanors that you cannot carry firearms
in the state of Florida
level with.
Oh,
I know it for. Well, I know it for a fact in the state of Florida, but I'm almost 100% on that. I would, to say it right now, I would say between 90 and 95% that is a nationwide deal.
Awesome. Okay, so so there is a possibility there might be a state law in Pennsylvania that if you get hummed up on a misdemeanor drug charge, that they could suspend. It's a possibility. That's something we should look into.
What does Virginia say? Because that's where Adam would be ultimately carrying.
Well, the I forget which amendment it says, but if you're charged for something in one state, technically the other state has to adhere by it.
Correct.
So yeah, but I see your point, and I will, and that's what I say in the video, is that I'm not accusing this man of anything. As a matter of fact, I'd like to try and get in contact with him and maybe even ask him a question, because there are a couple of things, here's one of the things I give him the benefit of the doubt on. You clearly see that he was lighting up some sort of smoking utensil, right? Right before the arrest, this Dezarn, right? And so you clearly see that. So he most likely has something like that on him. Then he even freely admits that he was cupping things in his hands, but he says they were pieces of paper, which I believe, if they were joints, he would still not be. He would not be in a legal position to come out and go, yeah, I had him on me, because he's technically fighting a possession or whatever they have him on.
But what I didn't like was his video response. I didn't like, he was trying to do the Jedi mind trick. Don't pay attention to the things that were in my hands. Those are not important. These are not the pieces of paper information you were looking for. It was just the way he was doing it.
You got to understand, this guy is in the video as well, he's under legal counsel as well. You can't just, I think we learned that today in the IRS deal. When you're under legal counsel, you talk a little bit different. You choose your words a little bit more carefully.
If I was that guy's legal counsel, there would have been no video whatsoever. Don't put your...
Well, at the same time, you know what, though? If I was his legal counsel also, I'd be like, hey, how far do you really care or want to take this whole activism bit? Do you really care about the people that you're trying to talk to and gain the votes of, as far as your seat in council or state senator or whatever he's running for?
Yeah.
I don't even know what he's running for. I just know he's a libertarian candidate.
He's
State Senate, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
State Senate.
Yep.
Okay.
But I will say I defend him
on
no matter what.
What's that?
where I will say that I defend him on no matter what. I don't care. Nobody has actual proof that he was trying to do anything. All we could do is speculate. If you're sending death threats, shame on you.
Oh, yeah, because he did say he was receiving death threats in his response.
Really?
Yeah. So shame on you. Innocent until proven guilty. We'd only have speculation. So if you're out there and you hear me and you've done this, knock it off.
Fucking sadist. Stop acting like this. Stop acting like the exact same thing we're trying to rebel against, you assholes.
I know. Why would you do that? I mean, I get
Boo! Boo!
Yeah, I'm with that. But I mean, why would you? I mean, I understand not everybody who smokes weed is a libertarian or liberty-minded person, but even then, if you smoke weed, I mean, why are you even motivated enough to write this guy? I mean, like, but yeah, and that's what we basically the videos, and that's all we really wanted to cover is that the charges. With the evidence that we have, unless somehow they really stick it to him somehow, and just totally, which is not impossible. They could just railroad him, because I've had it happen to me in court cases before. But I think the evidence is going to speak for itself, and he might even have a nice lawsuit on his hands.
It depends. It depends on the ability to show that video evidence in court. I know that there's some.
Why wouldn't it be? Why would it be allowed?
I know that there are some cases where they've thrown that evidence out if it's been played on YouTube. I know that Chris Cantwell even made a comment to the fact that there's a possibility that some video evidence may not be admissible in court.
Okay,
I don't know the laws
and I can expand on that because I heard this from Mike Salvi today also that. Okay. They have thrown. They do not allow. Only the prosecutor. I believe the way that he put it, and I can't, attest to this. I'm just going by his word, and I trust his word. But I'll leave that up to whoever to decide. But that the prosecutor can only show evidence. Like you could have this thing from a dozen different angles, which we do, and many different scenarios and everything else being brought forth and slow it down and back it up and whatever. It doesn't matter what our efforts the past week. The fact is that all of that may not be admissible.
And that's because the prosecutor has to introduce the evidence first?
Correct.
Wasn't there a claim that the prosecutor was there at the event picking people, like pointing them out?
Who? I am not sure
I've heard this before, and I wish I could repeat it because I don't want to sound like I'm spreading misinformation. From what I have understood, somebody was stating that the prosecutor or the DA was actually at the event with the police officers pointing people out. Just to, I know I heard it. So
well, there you go. People start scouring the video for that guy. Yeah, scouring the video.
I think Matthew's a conspiracy theorist. I think he's completely off his rocker.
Oh, come on now. Of course I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Everyone's a conspiracy theorist.
I'm just messing with you.
I'm just fucking with you, numb nuts. Now don't go blowing your fucking head off.
Wow, way to play it old school, my friend. Why not? Who cares if I do? The poor guy that's got to clean that shit up.
If you're going to do it outside of something. So that's basically what we... one last thing before we go to the top of the hour break. Anonymous actually strikes back to the Philly Police Department for Adam Kokesh's marijuana bust and the breaking up of the whole thing. You can check that out at tokesignals.com and then look up at Anonymous Strikes Back at Philly Police. They put a little video together where they actually screenshot in them hacking the websites and messing with them live.
Very nice. Very
awesome.
nice. I want to put some information out there. One, if anybody's listening, if you're in the Philadelphia or surrounding areas, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., right out in front of the FDC, the free Adam Kokesh and N.A. Poe rally at Philly Fed Courthouse during their hearing.
700 Arch Street, right?
Yeah. And also, people, Kokesh has his legal defense fund covered. He apparently has insurance. So don't forget about Poe. Poe needs help. So if you guys are going to donate, also, if you want something out of it and you want to help, Corrective Axiom, if you go to their page, if you go to their webpage, everything that you purchase, 100% of whatever they get, I mean, they're even putting in the cost of the product, 100%, whatever anybody buys between now and the end of the month or longer goes to helping out N.A. Poe. So if you get that out there, throw some money, if it's $1, if that's all you can afford, do it, because every little bit helps. It all adds up. Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah, no problem.
No, absolutely, dude. I did that. I did that with Doc and them on my show as well. I mean, that's anything is something. So
yeah, well,
I
kind of feel bad for Poe, because Adam's getting kind of the spotlight on it, and he's kind
a lot of people didn't know who Poe was until literally today. It wasn't real, or if they knew who he was, didn't know how to go about helping this guy out. You know what I mean? I know Sally put it out this afternoon, and I had all my callers tonight were more pro Poe people than really knew Kokesh up until just a couple months ago.
Well, that's good. Maybe we'll blend these two crowds together.
But Robert, I disagree with you. I think Poe's thankful that Adam is getting all this attention, because if Adam hadn't been arrested and just Poe, this would probably get buried. Poe would just be in there and.
You think because they got arrested together, it's even bigger?
Well, not just because they got arrested together. I'm saying that Poe is getting more attention because of Adam.
I wouldn't say.
Despite being overshadowed by Adam, he's getting more attention because of Adam. He's getting more help than he probably would have had Adam not been arrested.
I don't know. I mean, let's look at the numbers. Poe's still only at like 25% of his legal defense fund, and Adam's got it covered.
Yeah, but Adam has. Okay, but how much would he have? Would he have 25% had Adam not been arrested?
I don't. Well, it's only speculation.
Okay, well,
he has his own radio show. He has his own fan base.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. I think it's just that big because it was them together. I mean, you have these two big fan bases coming in together, and then these people are seeing their similarities and where they can help each other out, where you had all these people who were just kind of there for the marijuana, realizing that there's a police state, you know what I mean? And you had, people deciding that they need to help these people with their marijuana issues, you know what I'm saying? And it's growing, and I think it's expanding, which is what I've been wanting to see in the movement. So I guess there is a silver lining to this messed up cloud.
Well, and as long as that you guys have known me, you know that I've been preaching this like constantly, and it really is a battle cry of mine, is like, we need more unity. Stop acting like your idea trumps the other guys. Like, we all want the same things. Just please, with something like this, can we all come together voluntarily and kind of decide collectively that we're going to... Yeah, exactly.
Whoa.
Exactly. There's that danger, Will Robinson, danger. Can we all get together in a unified sense to say this is something that we want to fight for, and hopefully we all can stand together to make the greater good out of something we don't have to always agree on the same things on, but this is definitely one of those issues.
Oh yeah. And I'm glad. Like I said, it's kind of a silver lining, and I think that people, they can start to expand out and break down these barriers that well, I'm a voluntarist, so I can't hang out with the big L libertarians, and and I'm a philosophical libertarian. I don't want to be around those anarcho-capitalists, and and we can get past that and start coming together to help protect all of our collective freedoms, because there's that famous quote: first they came for the communists, but I did not speak out because I wasn't communist. First, and then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I wasn't socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I wasn't a trade unionist. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak. And I think that it needs to go into people's voluntary interactions. And remember, if you don't help speak up for other people, who's going to be around for you?
Well, that's like the argument we get into with the trolls, and I've stopped going over there, but I'm like, this isn't about like they make the comment, you're Messiah. No, this is about everybody. And this happens to one person, it could happen to you. You have to understand. We get in arguments. Somebody says, "Well, the courts you'll just have to win in court," and it's like
supporting due process. They said, "Don't you support due process?" And I was like, "Yeah, isn't probable cause the first step to due process?"
Yeah, and it was like, and this person, and I'm not going to say their name, was like, the reason why this person wasn't willing to defend Adam was because this person doesn't like Adam. And that's all it boils down to. It's personal feelings, and you need to set those personal feelings aside, those differences in your philosophies, and you need to understand that this isn't about philosophy. This is about tyranny, and we all need to stand up and fight it together regardless of our differences.
All right. Now, when we come back, we're going to discuss all of the political prisoners that we could think of. And what we want you to do is call in. The number is 323-417-6713, and tell us of some political prisoners that you can think of.
Trip, are you going to stay on the line?
I'm around for as long as y'all have me, dude.
Hey, yeah, we'll keep you the whole time, man. Don't tempt me.
All right.
But
hey, you guys can tell me. Hey, you guys can tell me to go pack sand anytime, man. But yeah, I'm good.
No, keep the sand. It's cool. So, all right. So, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick song break. This is Anti-Flag. You Gotta Die for Your Country.
You gotta die for your government, die for your country, that shit. You gotta die for your government, die for your country, that shit.
All right. So
I love that song. I just found it today. It's awesome.
Yeah,
you
it's
never
pretty
heard
cool
that
song.
before?
No. I'm more of a mainstream punk, like your Pennywise.
I know,
Kokesh.
Pennywise and all that. Dude, you know what? I've been picking up on some more 80 or 90s skate punk lately that even some people that I've never heard from before, like Pulley, dude. I don't know if you know who Pulley is, but you would like them a lot, man. I really dug them.
Like Pulley? Pulley?
Yes.
Right,
Great band, man. They're just awesome. But actually, to talk shop for a second, just talk to Proctor. Ironically enough, his power went out too.
Oh, so it wasn't our fault.
No. Well, he didn't pick us up, so he's picking us up right now. So we're on LMR as well.
All right, yes.
But it's not my show, so you guys throw it out there.
All right, here we are. Journalistic Revolution. News you need to be involved in. Back on Liberty Movement Radio. Sorry for the...
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Proctor.
We have been discussing a plethora of things up until this point for everyone who's just tuning in now on Liberty Movement Radio. We talked about the IRS targeting people. We talked about Adam Kokesh and how we posted a video today that we believe, with all the angles, you can clearly see that Adam Kokesh at no point locked arms with anybody except the police officer, and at no point tried to block them or even assaulted them. And then now what we're going to talk about for the last hour is political prisoners through the last 10 years. And what we want you guys to do is call in. The number is 323-417-6713, and tell us about any political prisoners that we may have missed. And you can even include people like how we did, where they had their 5-month-old taken away because they wanted a second opinion. The couple that did that, we consider that baby
a political prisoner.
Political prisoner.
Is Nelson Mandela out yet?
Oh man,
he got out, and then I guess within a week. Isn't that the Chris Rock joke where? Oh.
Yes, I'm just fucking with you.
I was like, man, where have you been? What rock?
Right, yeah, no, hiding under a rock, obviously, but
it's a Liberty rock, though. So anyway,
right.
The first one we have, of course, is Antonio Buehler. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I've had Antonio on before. I've had Antonio on before, and he's, Austin has the cops in Austin have really messed with that guy. I mean, as far as parking tickets, speeding tickets, and I asked him the last time I talked with him, I said, every cop in Austin knows who the hell you are by now, right? And he's like, yeah, I've kind of gotten a consensus of that. That's the worst thing, is that can we not just freedom of speech even comes at a cost, people. You gotta know that by now, that you can't just throw these radical, extreme ideas out there. Hell, somebody might take notice and catch on to it, so they're gonna do everything they can. Right. It really is a monopoly on force, because they're going to do everything they can to not only shut you up, but make your life miserable in the process.
Yeah, Mark Schmitter, what his only crime was, Antonio Buehler, was because he was speaking out. That was his real only crime.
Filming police
committing crimes was his crime. But Mark Schmitter, his only crime was handing out paper. And they arrested him 140, 120, what was it, 141, 120 days, somewhere between there.
141 days and 151 days to be, both sentences will run, hold on a second.
So, yeah, and it's...
Mom! Meatloaf! Meatloaf!
That's awesome. But yeah, so he was sentenced, and it was all because the Casey Anthony judge, what was his name, Belvin Perry, got all uppity that his orders because of his kingship were violated.
Yeah,
you know?
Good Lord.
And then, of course, you can't forget Rich Paul, which happened recently, too.
Yes.
How much time is he looking at? 18 months? Or am I way off?
No, Rich Paul, 81 years.
81 years.
For victimless actions. 81 years. And that is some serious crap. You got judges that get busted with tons of drugs that get 30 days probation, and this guy's getting 81 years.
Do you know that equals? Do you know 20 years cost the taxpayers, cost you and me, right? 20 years in prison on average, just shy of $1 million every 20 years.
Robert, we can't throw logic into something like this when people are out there ruining their lives with marijuana. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. One hit and you're hopelessly addicted.
You know, and it leads to crack. I mean, I know this for a fact. It just leads straight to crack. You know.
I sold my mom.
You're smoking. Yeah, smoking a joint one day, next day you're firing up that crack pipe, and your life is ruined. So we got to get these people in prison for as long as we possibly can before they ruin their lives and probably many others.
Okay.
No, I'm a testament to the false narrative that it leads to other things or it's addictive, because if that was the case, I'd be in big trouble if it was addictive because I'm allergic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And
for
I
you at least the asthma attacks and hives and hospital visits.
I've changed stances. We got to keep that stuff illegal. My friend could die.
I'm not gonna die. I've never. Shut up.
But well, okay. So they're arresting people for handing out paper. They're arresting people for filming. They're arresting people for messing around with a plan. And then who can forget Brandon Robb, where they're just straight detaining and blackbagging because of Facebook posts.
Yeah, no, that's incredible, man. When I've looked into that, I haven't dived in too much, but yeah, that is it's frightening times. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I really wish there was more than I could say, but the worst part is that the way I feel is like nothing's shocking to me anymore, and I feel like I'm letting myself and everybody else down by, wow, it's no shock that happened, because like there's no dead set deal on me going, well, that stuff happens, or thinking, well, that's justifiable, or whatever it might be. It's like at the end of the day, it's not shocking to me anymore. I don't really care or understand anymore. It's just like, hey, state is gonna state, man. So haters gonna hate,
Trip, you've been desensitized, my friend. That's what that's called.
Oh, okay.
I disagree.
Why say 20 words when 3 will do? But
I disagree. I don't think Trip is necessarily desensitized. I think it's kind of like the same stages I went through. First one's panic. Second one, you decide, you start to get angry and you think you got to do something about it. Third step is action. You start getting involved. You're passing out flyers, doing sign waving, posting things on Facebook, whatever it may be. And then you start to get like back into that fear and panic mode again. You want to give up and you want to stop and you don't really want to mess around because what if they take me? I got kids. What the fuck, And then you start to get into the angry stage again. But then after that, like second or third angry stage, you hit a quiet acceptance where it's not where you're going to allow the things to happen. You're still going to fight against them. But at the same time, you realize how much is in your control and how much is out of your control.
And I'm just a stay in motion type of guy. I'm just like, stay the course, man. I'm not changing anything. I'm not gonna be dissuaded in any sort of way, but I'm staying the course. However, nothing shocking.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised anymore. I mean, they could raid New York City tomorrow, put it in full military lockdown, and I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
right.
New York. So who really cares about New York anymore, really? I mean, what? Women can walk around with their titties hanging out, but don't drink that soda. 16 ounces.
Oh man, I
17 ounces.
forgot about that. Did you guys cover that yet? I didn't cover it at
No,
all. Man.
why didn't we? Hey, let's talk about boobies for a moment. Let's back.
Yeah. Hey, please break up the monotony. Let's.
You know, I mean, it's sad. We're going. You know, the world's going to shit. We're all going to die. Boobies in New York.
Well, okay. I'm going to turn it political. What? I don't understand how people want to live in that state anymore. I don't understand it. The whole state, and city. Because they keep taking more and more of the freedoms, and then they let these. I mean, I'm not saying I'm necessarily for women walking around with their titties hanging out or against it. I'm non-political on that point. But for me, it's like, who's running that place?
Michael Bloomberg, you asshole.
Yeah, he's a dick, and it's the one good thing they've done in a while. I mean, I'm just being a selfish, chauvinistic pig right now. You know, they got boobies in New York. You know, and I'll take the smaller cup of soda if I get to look at some boobies all day.
It's funny is because I actually shared that article. And a friend of mine said, well, no, it makes sense. Bloomberg's thinking ahead. He's trying to keep all these women walking around with their titties hanging out skinny by limiting how much soda they can take in.
Well, not only that, but for me, and I hate to kind of put this out there like that, but you know, it might just be like my moral standpoint. Now, I want to see a pair of titties just as much as the next guy, but. The point is that I was like, you know what? This seems like a total psyop in a way, where it's like, it's either like an uber liberal, trendy type deal, where it's like, oh, well, maybe Bloomberg isn't as authoritarian as we might have thought him to be, and then you get to sneak all these other things out the back door. You know what I mean? Like,
no. Because the booby thing had nothing to do with Bloomberg. It was the state Supreme Court that said it was okay because it was in court. It had nothing to do with Bloomberg. Because we all know
Cuomo and Bloomberg aren't in caputs together,
Yeah.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Well, you know what it really is, right? They just threw the state of New York a bone. That's what it was. It was all like, hey, they tax your cigarettes, they do this. Here's some boobies. Shut up. Just
Exactly. It's behavior placement at a base level. If you really wind it down to zero, it's behavior placement and product placement at on a base level.
Yeah, the best product placement ever, I must say. I mean, if I'm going to get played by the system, I want more boobies involved.
Well, I'd like to reiterate our good friend Bill Hicks from back in the day. Here's the commercial they'd like to do. Woman's face, beautiful. Zoom out a little further. Naked breasts. Zoom out a little further. She's got her legs spread, 2 fingers right here, you can guess. And it just says, drink Coke. Now, I don't know what the correlation is, but I'll be goddamned if Coke ain't on my shopping list that week.
It's very true. Hold on, let me give it a shot. Sex. All right, our ratings should have gone up by now.
Right. I think you just gained 2 or 3 more new listeners in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds.
You got to say it like this. You got to go, sex.
Don't do that again, man. That was hot.
It wasn't for you. It's for our listeners.
Oh. Sorry, I got all flustered, man. You know how I know you're gay, right? Anyway, so
I hang out with you.
But so yeah,
because you're gay and you can only tell who other gay people are.
Yeah, my gaydar is self-incriminating.
No, we're not running with that. Let's
okay,
get on.
We're not running with the gay. Let's move it to back to boobies. No, but this type of stuff, this is what the people want. You know what this really reminds me of? This reminds me of Rome. This reminds me of the games, the Colosseum, what they did to help the masses forget about the fact that Rome was falling. It was going down. Yeah, and that's what I think. I think that's what boobies are. That's what I think the gay marriage argument is. That's what I think the abortion argument is. It's their, hey, look, we're talking about something controversial. Pay attention to us. You know.
Well, you know what? That also serves another purpose in today's world as well, because I also hang out with these people. I have military people in my friends and family. I have gay people in my friends and family, and you know what? That really solidifies their choice for candidacy. And Obama came under fire today, saying he's talking to predominantly, we're talking 85+% black audiences the past, pretty much since Sandy Hook. That's what he's been doing, is talking to, and I'm not one to play the race card, but you know what I mean? It's like, you're not going to want to go somewhere where you get yelled liar to, or, or whatever, whatever the deal is at the end of the day. But my point is, in all that, is that you cater to, I hear, they ended don't ask, don't tell in the military. I'm pro Obama. Well, it's like, it's not Obama that did that, okay? Like, it's a political diversion to say, at least we got the gay crowd on our on our side, or at least we got the Hispanic culture on our side, or the black culture, or whatever it might be, because it's like, these angry white guys that we are. I mean, we're just angry white guys that are bitter about having to leave the country up to these coloreds and Greeks, and I'll tell you what, man, I'm really tired of these Norwegians coming over here and taking our neurosurgeon jobs, man. First Ouija we go out and see this weekend, we're going to stomp some Ouija ass.
Trip, come on. Obama ended the Iraq War. Come on.
I know.
He
deserves our praise.
He
killed Bin Laden.
Yeah,
he killed Bin Laden.
No, but
12 years ago. I mean, 2 years ago. Oops.
Right.
But
did you say that?
I think you're right. Because these issues are. Yes, they're issues. They should be discussed. But when was the last time any of them got solved, or even were debated on a national level that wasn't just talking points and flame wars?
Absolutely. And when we have our own problems, dude, we're sitting here talking about voluntarism or anarcho-capitalism or libertarianism or minarchism or whatever situation it is that we're bickering amongst ourselves about. It's like, you know what? There are bigger issues at hand. And I know that I've probably told you guys this in our talks before, but whenever anybody starts bringing up like pop culture reference in a group discussion, I always like to throw out there, there's no gold backing our currency, right? And that's just, and then I just step slowly away. I just throw that out there and then step slowly away. Like they're going on about the American Idol winners. I said, there's no gold backing our currency, right? And then just slowly back away and
like
let them deal with it. Right, I am. I'm like, you deal with it.
He's an in-person troll.
Little one-liners to get the conversation started. Right? But no, that's really good, because I think people
you guys feel me on that, right?
Yeah, no, I do.
No, I totally feel you.
Because I do that all the time. Everyone makes a joke. All my friends outside the Liberty Movement, because I'm not one of these people who will only surround myself with people who pat me on the back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hang out with a very wide variety of people, and when I hang out with them, there's a running joke that I will turn the conversation into either philosophy or politics. No matter what the subject is, I will get it to one of those two subjects.
Absolutely. Why not? Hey, for people like us, that's interesting. This is our American Idol, people. I would hope it would be yours, too. You know what I mean? Like, this is not just a source of information and hopefully to wake up more people and expand minds and get more people involved. This is our American Idol at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, it really is, but It's American Idol via real life, because
correct.
Because we have to get people on our side. I hate to use collectivist political terms, but we have to get people on our side. And that's where I think that we need to simplify it, right? We just need to make it, are you for freedom or are you for control? And it's really easy to spot the two. Are there nuances? Yeah, there's little L libertarians, voluntarists, anarchists. There's nuances for those who are for freedom, and there's nuances in those who are for control. So I think that's how we need to simplify. It's like, hey, are you for freedom? Great, shut up, let's go. Hey, are you for freedom? No? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. I can't back any of your actions. You know what I mean? And that's another thing.
Absolutely.
That we need to back actions, not people.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, that's
I've got nothing for you. Well put.
No, I mean, like you said, we're going to back actions, not people, and I think that's the reason why the march will go on with or without Kokesh, because even he said it himself. The march isn't about him. It's not about him. He does not want it to be about him. He said if something was going to happen to him, somebody else was going to just take up the torch and go. And I really, truly believe that. And that's, guess what? If you're marching on Washington, you're doing it as a collective. You're all different types of philosophies, different types of beliefs. It's a collective movement. Regardless of your individual philosophies and beliefs, you all work together, with or without a leader.
That's like coming back to like the whatever, whether it be the gay marriage thing or what we deem social issues, or whether that be abortion or gay rights or whatever it is, is that goes back to that collective deal where we're just like, we have to adhere to our own policies, otherwise we're all let's work those. Don't get me wrong, those are important and valuable issues. Can we get to those after we don't have a tyrannical police state pounding our asses daily? A great example would be the founding of this constitutional republic. In its inception, not necessarily what it has become, but in its inception, you had a whole group of people, regardless of their backgrounds, if you want to defame one founder or the other, but regardless, they were a wide group. There were atheists, there were philosophical deists, there were Christians, Catholics, and then there were federalists and anti-federalists and those who didn't even want to be a part of the Union at all. And they worked together to reach a goal. You know what I'm saying? And it worked for a time, not very long, but but it worked. And that gets lost a lot of times. You know what? It's like, you know what? Yeah, you could start a garden in your backyard. You could start your own wind or solar power. You could be completely self-sufficient and do everything yourself and never have to leave your house if you didn't, or your compound or your land if you didn't want to. But you know what? It's going to be a lonely-ass life, even if you were left completely alone by government. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're going to have, yes, there should be voluntary action involved in all that. So it's like, if me and you decide to do business together, that should be voluntary or whatever, But do you really want to live this? I know that's like kind of our battle cry and what we're fighting for or whatever, But at the end of the day, it's like you can. Right, but it's like, you know what, you're going to live a lonely-ass life. These people make these arguments that make it sound like they don't want to have anything to do with anybody, and it's like, that's not life. That's not real living. You might as well be a statist asshole. You might as well go to jail for 81 years for smoking pot and selling pot. You might as well be hemmed up for speaking your mind and go to jail and catch felony assault charges and all of these other things if you don't want to be a part of life. I mean, we're trying to experience it the best way that we hope it can be. And at the end of the day, a lot of people make it seem like they just want to be left alone by everybody, neighbors, family, friends, everything.
Well, Matt can attest, that our philosophy has always been prepare for that shit hits the fan moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where you're going to have to disappear, or where you're going to have to go run off into the woods, or whatever you might think is going to happen. Some think it's going to be, economic collapse, so prepare financially with commodities. Some people think that it's going to be police state, so they prepare with ammo and, having an escape plan. But whatever your preparation is, prepare, but don't just let the crap happen. Don't just be all like, well, I'm prepared for it. Fuck you guys. Ha ha. No, be all like, hey, I'm prepared for it. I'm going to help you try and stop it. And then, because what do you think you're going to do if the crap does? Let's say this hypothetical situation. Let's say they all happen. Let's say that there's a police state, the economy falls, and there's a meteor that hits freaking Russia and takes out like our atmosphere for like a few years, right? Let's say it's all that bad. You're going to have to group together and voluntarily create a new tribe, if you will. You know what I mean? You would have that would have to happen.
All I learned from that, I know from zombie movies. And I don't want to be a complete dick about it, but they've got that show. I don't know, but I've seen it on Netflix before called The Colony, and they bring a bunch of different people in from a bunch of different backgrounds and give them literally close to nothing. But you know what? It's like you're going to need that person when you don't know shit about cars and you need a 86 Ford F-150 to be able to start up, you know what I mean, and get you where you need to go. If you don't know shit about cars, hell, that guy's going to come in handy. So we can all benefit from each other in one aspect or another,
Yeah. Well, now, I actually just got this link from Matthew. Matthew just sent this over to me while you were talking. This is interesting. It says, today the U.S. Senate voted unanimously in favor of a Lindsey Graham resolution, Resolution 65, which strongly supports the full implementation of the United States and international sanctions on Iran and urges the president to continue to strengthen enforcement of sanctions and legislation. The legislation, as expected from a Lindsey Graham product, is full of misstatements, historical revisionism, and more drum-beating hyperbole. Particularly revolting is the distortion and lies about Iran's not being in compliance with the IAEA nuclear safeguards requirement, and the ironies of Graham using Iran's refusal to implement UN resolutions as evidence as its rogue status. So I guess Congress... the Senate is trying to say that we should start aggressing more towards Iran.
Since they're aggressing towards nobody.
Dude, they've been beating that drum for fucking years. What'd you expect them just to let the Iran thing? They've invested so much money and so much time in just to let it go. It's like, no, we got to keep beating that Iran drum. And there's always going to be that John McCain or that Graham or that Lieberman or whoever out there.
Eventually those assholes are going to die of old age, okay? And
we can hope.
They're already prepping their next generation. The Sarah Palins and what's that, Paul Ryans and Marco Rubios of the future. They're preparing. They're not dumb. They're all like, here, we're gonna pass the torch to you. You're gonna love it. You're just gonna say whatever the hell you want, and they're just gonna eat it up. Watch. Yeah. But I'm reading over these provisions. Right, and like one of them, Section 2 says, strongly supports the close military, intelligence, and security cooperation that President Obama has pursued with Israel and urges this cooperation to continue and deepen. Reiterates that the policy of the United States is to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon capability and to take such action that may be necessary to implement this policy. Now...
Hold on, let me cut in there. Where were the sanctions on the U.S. when we were implementing nuclear weapons?
Well, we were running this shit back then.
We're the USA. Who's with me, guys? USA. We're the top dog, dude. We're the top dog. You don't mess with America. America. Fuck yeah.
But that's my point, man. What makes us so fucking high and mighty We got thousands of these suckers lying around. And Iran, which I don't even believe they're trying to make a nuke in the first place, isn't allowed to have one when they're surrounded by countries that have them. Israel, India.
Well, actually, I just wanted to say something about that. In this language, it says that the United States is to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon capability. So that means that if they actually acquire a sustainable nuclear power plant, that gives them the capability to weaponize plutonium or uranium or whatever the crap is.
Which would help their economy.
Too bad they can't use any of that depleted uranium we all leave over there to expose our troops to and whatnot. If that was still good, they would be in the market, buddy. I mean, you couldn't get enough depleted uranium on your hands, but
but the funny
unfortunately, that's only good for killing people at that point.
We're gonna go over there and we're gonna say, no, Iran, you can't have that stuff. If you do, we're gonna drop the shit on you. You can't have uranium, but we're gonna drop it on you. What the hell?
Well, and see, this is what we were saying earlier about how, Adam Kokesh this is an important damn story, and one that you can easily get involved in through, still doing the phone flooding, because that's still going on from what I understand. I called at least once today, and then you have the protest that's going on, especially tomorrow, 10 a.m. And that's great, and you should get involved. But then while that's happening, while we're all focusing on them attacking us, they're sliding things under the radar again. And we need to keep our eyes open because, this is a multifaceted war, ideological war. And they're taking our talking heads, if you will, and anybody whose voice is getting too loud. They're stripping our rights away through legal means and just straight violating them whenever they can. And so we shouldn't ever be too focused on one thing or another. And I understand we are all focused on Adam and Poe and everything right now because that's what's happening, and it's slapping us in the face. Like, we all knew that this kind of stuff was possible. They just grab someone, make up some charges, throw them in the slammer. But now we're seeing it affect us. It's not some news story. This is, almost anybody who's listening to the show has probably met Adam at least once, and people that were at that rally all probably knew Poe and his radio show, and so we gotta give them their due diligence, and we have to show up. We have to support them. If you can, send money to Poe or buy merchandise from Corrected Axiom because they'll donate the proceeds to Poe. But we have to remember that there's still a plan going on out there.
Yep, and you can act locally too. I don't want to get local activism, tossed to the side and all of this. I mean, that's great for the people that live in that area. You know what I mean? Like, if you live within 4 to 6 hours from anywhere, there's no reason why if something like that happened to us and it was in, let's just say, Jacksonville, we would go up there to do it up. You know what I mean? Like, if that was the place to do it. So, I want everybody to understand that, especially if you're in the local area, there shouldn't be any reason why you shouldn't be able to be up there and pitch in or whatever it might be,
Spray paint an overpass, something. Jesus Christ, people. You know what I mean? Spray paint an overpass. Google Adam Kokesh. Google N.A. Poe. Google the police state. Google anything. Freaking read a book, something. And these are things you can do. Even make a sign. Put it on a fence on a busy highway. Something. Take 5 minutes out of your day to just educate somebody.
Or educate yourself. For those who might be listening that were not patting us on ourselves on the back. Speaking to our base, that aren't our base. Just in case.
Well, I always try to make at least some point in any show to do that. I don't always want, like, I know for a fact that I had a couple people that were listening in either by the website or by phone that had never listened to the show before. So I tried to not always act like we're preaching the choir. I mean, it seems like the same rehashed bowl over and over again. If you have that mentality like you're preaching the choir all the time, you got to understand other people are going to, I'm not accusing you guys of anything, but I mean, just to put it out there, people jump on at multiple different times. Through this Adam thing, we get plenty of people. I had an overwhelming amount of callers and people contacting me through social media that were, a part of Poe's camp that I had no idea even existed, really. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anything about these people, but, that's stuff like this brings us closer together, is my point.
Yeah. Well, and that's good, because I hate the fact that tragedy, because this is really a tragedy that anybody was arrested at this rally. I don't care what for or how famous they were. The fact that anybody was arrested at this event is a tragedy, and people outside of that small group that were there are now seeing this and coming to the aid of Poe and Adam, and hopefully we'll be able to go, well, hey, look at this, and did you ever think of this? And it'll bring us closer together, and realizing that, this machine is bigger than any of us, and we can't do it by ourselves. Not one man can do everything, but one man can do something. Wait, I think I screwed that all up, but I tried to go.
What
for that.
What are you gonna do? Something.
Something. I tried to go for that heartfelt drive it home. Yeah, guys.
I know, man. Hey, we'll back you up regardless. You're good.
Yeah. All right.
You got my vote,
bro. Good attempt, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I give it a 6.
I give it a 6.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
What is that from, by the way? We used to play that.
Oh my God, that's Bill O'Reilly when he was on. Doggone it, I forget what show he was on. He was on another show, and he started. It was like a couple minutes long, and he's chewing out his producer or some intern.
No way, that's Bill O'Reilly?
Yes, I'll post you the link on Facebook.
Yes,
I am.
Oh, that would tickle my asshole to sit there and watch that.
Oh, it's great. I don't know what it is, but I love to watch angry people get angrier.
Yeah.
Like not when an average Joe gets angry, I kind of feel bad. Like, oh, I made that guy angry, man. He doesn't seem like an angry person. But when someone just looks like an angry person, I just like pushing their buttons until they freak.
Like for me, you don't have to wait. You only have to escalate the garbage before I have to realize that you're just toying with me. And usually I'm pretty quick on picking it up, but you know what I mean. Like you gotta toy with those people. I don't hold any ill will off of anybody that does that to me,
Yeah. Well, it's we're getting off point. I want to mention a couple of the other political prisoners that we could think of before we go down, because we got about 15 more minutes.
We got less than that because we got to plug our other friends out. So.
Yeah, we got to plug Trip, because we never hear from him. So we got.
Well, you guys are assholes, man. Fuck you guys, buddy. Hey, I won't call in no more, okay? Fuck you, buddy.
It's okay. I'm sorry, Kyle. I'm going to take back all those mean and evil things I said about you. You're not a dirty Jew. Plug it up. So,
I'm not your friend, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend. Or no, guy.
I'm not your friend, guy.
I'm not your guy, buddy.
They took our jobs. Oh, sorry. All right. Moving on.
All right. moving on. Another person that I considered a political prisoner who impressed me, even though I completely disagree with most of their standpoints, was Jill Stein during the debates in 2012. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is the cops hemmed her in. She couldn't move even if she tried.
Yeah.
So she's just like, well, screw it. I'll just sit right here. They wanted her to be arrested. They basically, you need to move. You're blocking the road. Meanwhile, she's being surrounded by 10 big jockhead asshole cops, not letting her move. And then she's like, well, and I loved her response because it's like, and without saying it, she's like, all right, fuck you guys, I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah, and then they arrested her. So, but mad props to her for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like I actually appreciate. I won't say that I idolize or hero worship, but I appreciate when someone puts their freaking foot down and refuses to comply.
Yep.
It's so inspiring.
And I know, I know that you've done that, but quite frankly, it scares the shit out of me because I know that day could come at any given point. Like, I could literally be fine 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes later, I'm going, okay, I guess this is it. Like, I've already, set myself up, my mindset for that, and it scares the shit out of me. It really does. I'm like, dude, my life can change at any given moment because there's just some stuff I'm not putting up with. And if I get... But go ahead.
Would you feel any different if you didn't have a child? To me, I almost feel like I would be out traveling the country going to as many activist events as I could.
No. And me as well. But, there's a lot of things that I say, I'm a parent. I'm not going to be a part of those shenanigans. I've got a good thing, and I do radio, and that's my way to get my stuff out, and it has been very therapeutic and great for doing that. But at the same time, it's like my mindset's not different because I feel the same way. Like, I mean, when the gun thing was going on, I'm going, man, if a cop shows up at my door and says, we're taking your... I mean, anytime somebody... If you come to my door and say you're taking my kid or you're taking my guns or, just no harm, no foul, I literally have not done anything wrong. That kind of scenario is what really scares the shit out of me because I know... my reaction to that, and it's not going to be good for anybody. And I just want to say, please, just there's some statist assholes that live all around this place. Like, just go to the next house, like, because I can't deal with that. I'm sure.
Just call time out.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, time out, guys. Time out, guys, because there's plenty of people around that will comply. Okay, I'm not one of those guys. Just move along. Nothing to see here. Just
tell your boss. I looked a little scary, and I didn't have any guns.
Right.
Well, I feel you because I've thought about that. I mean, I've really thought about that, like, because I have 3 kids. So that really kind of bogs on my mind sometimes. Cause
absolutely.
What would you do? I mean, I like to think I'd put my freaking foot down and I would follow in the footsteps of those who have carved this path before me. But at the same time, it's all like, do I want my kids to see me get dragged out of this place? And
here's the difference too. It's like you're at an event, you're at a protest or a rally or anything else like that. You already know damn well and good that could be a part of it. Now, in that kind of sense, I'm more likely to go peacefully. You come to where I'm doing my business at, to where I am I'm the king of the castle here, you know what I mean? Like, that's my man thing. Like, I'm just like, no, this is my home, and screw you guys, I'm going home. So, do what you will. There's statist assholes up the road that will comply, and I'm not putting up with it,
Well, I look at it like this. I don't put myself in a position to where I'm going to go to an event. Well, I'll try not to at least. Go to an event, and I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'll go there and cover it. Me and Robert do our radio show. We do our videos. We write our articles. But if somebody comes knocking on my door, that's one thing. I worry about my son and what could possibly happen. But I'm telling you right now, if shit hits the fan, God forbid, during the Revolutionary War, during the Civil War, during every war, fathers left their children to go do what was necessary. And that's all I'm saying.
Wow. That, I don't know why I never connected those dots before, because there's damn near legends about fathers leaving children to go do wars. And wow. My question is, where the hell are we going to leave them?
Well, my question also would be, that doesn't quite carry the same amount of weight that it used to. I hate to, bust everybody's bubble, my own included, in saying that I don't think that we would gain that same notoriety, nor do I think most people would really give a shit unless you're talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You know what I'm saying? If it was for our own causes, they would be like, this guy fucking left his kids to go live with the fucking rainbow people out there in California.
Well, no, but but I'm not talking about living with her. I'm talking about if the shit hits the fan.
Oh, you're hypothetical scenario.
Hypothetical scenario. If it came down brass to balls, we had to fight for our freedom. You would leave. You would head out. You would go to fight alongside your brethren.
Quick question.
Fight tyranny.
Quick question, Matt. You answer first. Do you think, or let me rephrase? How much of the military do you think, if the government went full on police state, how much of the military do you think would join the people?
65.
65? Trip.
Hold on. Let me preface that. I also think that we'd get a lot of the veterans joining that 65%.
Okay, so you put veterans in that number.
No. On top of that number.
Oh, okay. All right, that's pretty optimistic. Trip, what about you?
So what was that, the percentage level for what exactly?
How much, and let's
Stay with us, Trip. Stay with us.
Let's say
I'm sorry, I'm rolling a joint.
That is completely acceptable. Anyway, so how much of the military do you think, if the government went full on police state, like freaking announced it like it was a change in management, like today we are going communist totalitarian, and how much of our own military do you think would join the people who would lay down arms for fighting for the government?
We're talking police and Homeland Security as well.
Yeah, I would assume anybody who has to enforce the authority of the government.
Right. Okay. I would say 80 to 85% would side with the American people, and I only say that because NATO is in full effect. We just heard the last week, the president is not commander-in-chief. As horrible as the president is, no. NATO commands our military. So you don't have that anymore. Just the same as we say UN troops in Syria or wherever, that would be the same thing here. People that have hated us their entire lives for no reason other than we're America will come here to carry out the global agenda.
You know what? I made that same prediction with my dad. My dad is like, if it's gonna be anybody, it's gonna be the UN or another country, and it's gonna be done that way.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
You're always gonna have those people that want to be on the winning team. How many loyalists and stuff they had during the Revolutionary War? How many people that never saw England that sided with the British troops? Like, oh, that's treason against King George. That happened a lot.
Yeah. Well, it was because they believed the mythos that the kings were chosen by God. Kind of like how we now believe, the statists believe the mythos that the government grants us our rights.
Yeah, yes, I can see that.
You
well,
know,
no, I mean, you know, for me it was always like a cowardly, I want to be on the winning team. Like, I don't really care, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to have, oh, really, I'll fight for the British Army? You'll give me land and title? Okay, you know, that's kind of...
Well, I'm sure that was a portion.
I imagine there was deals made from people that not only... have you guys seen The Patriot?
Yeah.
Yes, Mel Gibson.
I love that propaganda. Best propaganda ever.
But the other thing is why I like films like that as well is because that really shows certain amounts of like military tactics at the time that are on record, you know, and you can look up what Cornwall, what Wallace did, and all these other people, all these major players, and Stonewall Jackson up through the, all the way up through Civil War times and whatnot, and looked at how the evolution of warfare, I guess you could say, and how they use different players. That movie really personalizes a lot of things that you just think are military tactics or whatever. So
they just stood in a line and shot at each other. That's all. You know?
Whether that be that, or you have these Benedict Arnold type characters and these spies and all these things that got introduced, you know, through these different players.
Yeah. Well, Trip, we got 3 minutes left. I'm gonna let Matt lead out with plugging everybody. Go ahead and plug yourself real quick, and then we'll plug you again.
Liberty Movement Radio, Wednesday, Sunday nights, 9 to 11. We're there. Come on right before Journalistic Revolution.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening tonight, and thank you for joining in with us, Trip, from NWO Fighter Show off of Liberty Movement Radio, along with Adam, the man, Kokesh. Check out his replay of his podcast, We Are Not Cattle, with Jake Counts. Check us out at www.journalisticrevolution.com. We also broadcast live on Liberty Movement Radio. With the Houston Freethinkers with Derek Brose, Peace News Now with Derek J. Freeman, Cerebral Industrial Complex with Josh Wiley, We Are Changed with Luke Radowski, Panda, the People Against the National Defense Authorization Act with Dan Johnson, 1787 Network with Alex Schnichter, Revolution on a Recliner with John Conrad, ShinyBadges.com with Davi Barker. If you have an organization, contact Davi. He can make you some shiny badges to sell for your organization. And please check out our weatherman on our website at www.journalisticrevolution, Mr. Suspicious Observer. And he gives some great, interesting weather reports. Everybody have a good evening from Journalistic Revolution.
All right, and I'm going to end it with the same side promo because we only have about a minute left. And because aren't we all on the same side?
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.